Okay, so I would like to introduce the notion of logarithmic connection. So when you have a flat connection, last time we saw a version of the Riemann-Hilbert correspondence with simple pole, but it was on P1, or more generally a curve. If you go to a base of higher dimension, what will be needed to define isomonodromic deformation, then you need a stronger notion of simple poles. So simple poles with some additional some restriction, and this restriction is logarithmic conditions that I would like to explain now. So I consider flat logarithmic yes. Connections. So I consider a holomorphic vector bundle with a connection, meromorphic connection. So it will have simple poles. So there is a, so this is over say X, say a complex manifold. That I assume to be connected. And there is a divisor, D, reduced divisor, which will be very soon with normal crossing. But for what we want to do, it will be enough to consider smooth divisor. And so the connection will have poles on this divisor. So it will be a connection like this. So it comes from E to E tensor product with omega 1 of D. So plus Leibniz rule. So I don't recall, it was in the talk of Victoria. And I will always assume, that my connections are flat, so flatness condition. So the flatness condition is nabla composed with nabla equals 0. Okay, so in local trivialization of E, what we get that nabla is given by D plus omega, which is not the same as that one. Omega is a matrix connection. I follow with the notation of Victoria, matrix of differential one form with poles, simple poles on D. Okay, the flatness tells you, so flatness, I recall, is equivalent to say that d omega plus omega wedge omega equals 0. And so this implies that at the neighborhood of a point P which belongs to X minus D, D here is the support of the divisor, then we have a basis of solution. There exists a fundamental solution. Phi, so which satisfies, so it belongs to GLR, R is the rank of the vector bundle, GLR of omega 1 of D, restrict to the open set where you are looking at. So, and fundamental solution means that d phi times phi minus 1 equal omega. Minus plus equals 0. Yes, because for systems there is an opposite sign. Okay. So from this fundamental solution, you can think of phi as trivialization of the connection. So you can think of it as a local. So locally, phi defines a trivialization of the connection. So you have the connection in habla, and it is a conjugacy with O, the trivial bundle, O times R, with the differential, the usual differential, so that the horizontal section, nabla equals 0, are really horizontal here. Okay, so from this you can define the monodromy. It's good to recall everybody about what we did last week, and also some people were not present last week. So you have a monodromy representation. So for this, I consider U equal X minus D. And then you take some base point here in U. And there exists phi at the neighborhood of P0. And you can consider the monodromy of phi. So if you have a gamma, a loop, with in X minus D, with gamma of 0 equal gamma of 1 equal P0, then you can look at the analytic continuation of phi. And this equals phi times m gamma. It is a change of base of solution, so the solution from a vector space. So you have a matrix, m gamma. So I will choose m gamma minus 1 like this, because I want to have a representation. So m gamma element belongs to GLR of C. And then you have a representation from the fundamental group of X minus D with base point P0 into GLR of C. Okay, so what is happening at the neighborhood of the singular point? I can use the other blackboard. Okay. At the neighborhood of a pole, and so I will restrict here to at a smooth point of the divisor, of a smooth point of D. So we have the following proposition. So So the smooth point P, say, of D. Then we have the following proposition. Maybe, so yes, sorry. Before this. Then locally, Nabla writes D plus omega, with omega having a simple pole. So you can think that D is given by x1 equals 0, with coordinate x1, xn. So these are local coordinates on x at P. So locally, the divisor is given by this. And you have a matrix 1 form with omega, which is of the form omega tilde over x1, with this being holomorphic. Then we have the following proposition. So R equivalent so one, there exists a holomorphic let me check. I need to require something about the eigenvalues. So I require that there is no resonance. I think this means that the eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda r, are such that lambda e minus lambda j do not belong to z minus 0. Okay, so there exists a holomorphic gauge transformation phi such that phi minus 1 times omega times phi. So this is what we have seen last week. This is what happens if you change the local trivialization of the bundle by some bundle isomorphism phi. Then it acts. This will be the new matrix connection. It will be given by this, and you can. So the first property is that this is equivalent to some constant matrix times dx1 over x1. So with a constant matrix, so GLR of C, and 2 d omega, or equivalently, because of flatness, omega wedge omega has also simple poles. And so we will call logarithmic. So maybe I put a definition. So I will give a sketch of the proof of this, but let me just give the definition. So E nabla is logarithmic if locally nabla equal d plus omega, with omega and d omega having simple poles. So this definition also holds for the normal crossing divisor. But let me show you this proposition in the case the divisor is smooth, which is what we need after. So, okay. So we prove 1 implies 2. So to begin, a remark is that d of A0 dx1 over x1 is 0, so it has at most simple poles. But this is not enough because this is a normal form after normalization. So before normalization, what we have is that, let's say, if you set psi equal to phi minus 1, then you have that omega, the initial matrix connection before normalization, is given by psi minus 1 A0 dx1 over x1 psi plus psi minus 1 d psi. This is what I want to do. And then you can check that. So from this, it is easy to check that it has that d omega has simple pole. So when you derivate the, okay, so you have to check, it is an exercise. And then the converse property. So the converse property is as follows. So 2 implies 1. So you start with omega that you can write in the following way. So A1 dx1 plus an dxn over x1. So this is the polar part, residual part, I should say. Plus something which is holomorphic, omega tilde, which is holomorphic. So locally, you can decompose like this with ak of ak depending actually only on x2 to xn, not on x1. Otherwise, you put it in the holomorphic part. And then you can compute d omega. So d omega is dx1 wedge dx1 over x1 plus sum for k greater or equal to 2 that of the ak wedge dx1 over x1 minus ak dx1 dxk over x1 square plus something which is holomorphic. So what you see is that, okay, this is all right, it has simple poles, but here you have something with multiple pole, a pole of order 2, and you should not have this. So this means that so the logarithmic condition imposes that the residue okay. So logarithmic condition means that we have simple poles. This implies that AK are 0 for k greater or equal to 2. So now I rewrite omega is A1 dx1 over x1 plus A2 dx2 plus AN dxn. So I rewrite the connection as follows. I decompose it into dxi's. And this part is holomorphic. And then now I use the flatness condition. Flatness condition gives me that d omega plus omega wedge omega, which should be 0, is equal to the A1 wedge dx1 over x1 plus 2. So there is something in between, and we arrive at the following. Yes, we arrive at the A1 minus A1. So this I did not by omega tilde again. So it is not exactly the same notation as before. I changed notation here. So A1 times omega tilde minus omega tilde times A1 wedge dx1 over x1 plus d omega tilde plus omega tilde wedge omega tilde. Okay, so this is the dx1 only appear here, not on the second part. So both terms should be 0. This is 0, this is 0. So because this only depends on dx2, dxn. So no, sorry. I use the second one. So omega tilde can be viewed as a partial connection in variables x2, xn, which is integrable. So I don't need this. It is, so the important property is that it is integrable. And we can find a fundamental solution. So this means that omega tilde, yes, it is holomorphic. This is the important part. Holomorphic and integrable. So you have a matrix of solution, a basis of solution locally, and then you can write omega tilde as, this means that you can write omega tilde as d phi tilde times phi tilde minus 1. And then you can use it, so you use phi tilde as a change of trivialization, as a gauge transformation. For omega, the starting connection, and then this allowed you to kill that part. So after doing it, so let me check.
So I'm confused. Why do you say that it does it zero? It actually can depend on the x1, right? Don't know that.
Oh. Yes. Yes, I don't remember. Okay, so there is a gap here.
I get that this argument with partial connection, because if it didn't depend on omega 1, it would be an actual connection. So you're kind of fixing that.
So, yes, forget. I don't use this decomposition and just restrict to. So, okay, so this does not work as I thought. So if you look at the part of the connection in the dx2, dxn, so one can show that we have a flat connection in this direction, which is holomorphic. And so it is not exactly omega tilde, as I said, but it is holomorphic because, so here, the meromorphic part depends only on x1. So when you write integrability condition for the partial connection in function of dx2, dxn, it does not depend on x1. So you can have you prove by this way, taking apart the polar terms, you can prove that it is zero also. And so the corresponding integrability condition is satisfied. And so you can redress the connection in this direction. And after doing this, you are back to the one-dimensional case because everything is now depending. So there is a mistake. Not exactly. But it is almost this. You look at the partial connection in direction of dx2, dxn, and looking at the gauge transformation corresponding to this partial connection, then you obtain a connection, a new connection that no more. So nabla is only depending on x1, and then you are back to the one-dimensional case, which was explained by Victoria E last week. Yes, so, yes, the notation is strange. Okay, it is, so you have a pole, okay, and you can cut by a transverse section. Then in dimension 1, you have a matrix connection. You look at the residue, and it is that one. So in particular, this shows that the type of the residue up to conjugacy is constant when you can do for several cross sections. It is constant along each connected component of the smooth part of the divisor. Okay? So, okay, so I write this more precisely. So you have D, which split as D1 plus dk. So D was the reduced divisor. So it's split into irreducible components. And for each di, there is a local model d plus ai, say dx over x, or dx1 over dx1 over x1. So which is well defined up to conjugacy. So you have eigenvalues in particular, eigenvalues. Lambda I 1, lambda I r. And so you have the version of the Riemann-Hilbert correspondence here, which is due to Döning. So it is a logarithmic Riemann-Hilbert correspondence. So X, it is a complex connected complex manifold. E, no, not E, D, it is a reduced, maybe simple normal crossing divisor. And then you have, we have an equivalence. So we have there is a one-to-one correspondence between, on one hand, flat logarithmic. I fix the rank. Yeah? Rank R, flat logarithmic, rank R connections yes, connections with on XD. So as above, they are meromorphic on X with logarithmic singularities on D. And eigenvalues satisfying real part of lambda ij contained in 0, 1. So this imposes a non-resonance condition. And on the other hand, you have representation of the fundamental group, P1 of X minus D at P0. And then, yes, with like this, we have a one-to-one equivalence. And the proof is more or less like last week for the case on P1. So maybe I can check okay. So about the proof. Yes, sorry. GLR of C. So this is a monodromy that I recalled just before. And in the other sense, so it is related with what has explained Victoria E, and also the suspension. So maybe you can look at the part of the talk of Elena Reis about suspension of a foliation, suspension of a representation. So what we do is as follows. You look at, so you start with a representation, rho representation. Then, so it is this I denote by U, the X minus D. Then I want to construct a first connection holomorphic on U, which is realizing this representation. So for this, I can do like this. I take the U tilde, which is a universal cover of U. So I recall briefly the construction. Then you consider on U tilde, you have the natural action of the fundamental group of U. Then you consider U times CR, which is a trivial bundle, equipped with a horizontal connection, and you define an action on this, P1 of U, which is as follows. To x, y, you associate gamma times x. So it is a standard action on the horizontal. X is belonging to u tilde. And on y, you act with m gamma. So maybe also I am mistaking here. I don't remember if I have to put -1 or so on, but you have to choose the good way, sorry, to get a representation. And by this way, you can go to the quotient. And the quotient is equipped with the projection on u tilde, which gives you the fiber bundle with the projection on on u, sorry. And D is giving you a holomorphic connection, which, by construction, if I make the good choice, will give you the good monodromy representation. And then you have to compactify.
Your M gamma is rho of gamma?
Yes, exactly. Rho of gamma. Thank you. And then to compactify, at D, you start with local logarithmic connection model. I would something like this. D plus I dx1 over x1, realizing local monodromy of so what I call local monodromy. So rho of gamma I, and I show you on the picture. Okay, so you have, I need colors. So D, the divisor, has several branches, D1, D2, D3, and then I have a base point P0, and I am looking at loops turning around each branch of the divisor. So this is what I call local monodromy. So like this. So gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma 3. And then, so the local monodromy is the restriction of rho to a transversal disk. Okay? And so I realize it by a model that I will choose for all the divisor D1. So I do not explain absolutely nothing about what is happening at the normal crossing. But you can look at, I can give some references. So there is the Döhling lecture notes, which is number 163. There is also a reference. There is a paper of Dmitry Novikov and Sergei Yakovenko. So lectures on flat meromorphic connections. And there is also a paper of, I think, Briançon and Maisonneuve. Which is in French, I think. Okay. So this is a logarithmic Riemann-Hilbert correspondence. And now I would like to introduce Schlesinger equation. So I go back to the very special situation. So in the Painlevé case. But the proof is the same, but I want to keep my notation. So we were considering the following situation. You have a system of differential equation, dy over dx, plus a times y equals 0. So it is a differential system which has 4 poles, rank 2, 4 poles, 4 simple poles. So I remind you that we can assume up to, so Möbius change of coordinate x and and also trace free to simplify. So, and SL2C change, no, sorry, this I don't need for the moment. So the system is as follows. So it is, you have A equal A0 over x plus A1 over x minus 1. So I put 3 of the pole to 0, 1, and infinity, x minus t. And there is a pole at infinity whose residual part is given by the following relation. It is minus the residue of the other matrices. And I explained last time by Riemann-Hilbert correspondence for this system that more or less the data of this system is equivalent to the data of a representation. If we are careful, it can be, you can find a true statement with a one-to-one correspondence, and by this way we can deform the pole of the system without deforming the monodromy. So we would like to deform T. Deforming the poles, you can always think that you have 0, 1, and infinity, which are fixed. So the first pole will be deformed. So you want to deform T and the matrices. So AK are in SL2 of C, small SL2 of C. Now you deform AK as a function of T, okay, in such a way that the monodromy is constant. The monodromy representation is constant. So I would say, I should say the class of the monodromy representation, or say that it is constant up to SL2C conjugate C. Constant along the deformation. And then the theorem of Schlesinger is as follows. In this setting, it is much more general, but in this setting, the theorem is as follows. Assume that A is non-resonant. So I remind you that AK is equivalent to theta k0 minus theta k, and possibly something here. So this means that, theta k does not belong to 1/2 of Z star for all k. Then a deformation, a small deformation, small, it will be analytic, defined on some disk. T gives AK of T. So this is a deformation of the system. Is isomonodromic. I hope that you understand what it means, or monodromy preserving. So isomonodromic. So it is this. Okay. If and only if so we have D of A0 over T. So the derivative of A0 is equal to A0 AT over T. So this is a Lie bracket. This is A0 AT minus AT A0. D A1 over dt equal A1 AT over T minus 1. And, I forget something. Sorry, I have to add something here. Now here, up to gauge transformation. So a gauge transformation depending on t. So you have a gauge transformation with parameter. Okay? So for each t, it is just a matrix, a global matrix. So it is a global matrix. I can M of t, a change of coordinate for each system. It is holomorphic in T. So SL 2 of C of T, analytic. Okay? Then you have this differential equation, and the last one, dA infinite over dt equals 0. Okay. So this means that the isomonodromy, so the computation of the monodromy is very transcendental. But so you cannot expect to compute it in general. So we can compute the monodromy representation in very few cases, which are very particular. And but in general, what we can do is to compute the isomonodromic deformation. Not exactly, you can compute the differential equation of the isomonodromic deformation. So along an isomonodromic deformation, you have a system of differential equation on the coefficient of the matrices, AK, and conversely, if you have a solution of this system of differential equation, you can deduce an isomonodromic deformation. Okay, so I would like to give a proof of, no, not exact, a sketch of proof of this result. So obviously the gauge transformation here does not impact the isomonodromic property. So if I want to look at the direction from this differential equation to deduce an isomonodromic deformation, I can assume that the system already has been transformed like this. So I start from this differential equation, and what I can say is the following. Maybe I can put a star here. This is the name of the Schlesinger differential equation, the three equalities. So proof. If I consider, let's consider omega equal d, the following matrix differential equation, A0 over x plus A1 over x minus 1 plus AT over x minus t times dx. I forgot this somewhere, maybe? No, okay. So I consider the connection d plus omega, where omega has the following form, minus AT over x minus t times dt. So let's rewrite this as follows. A0 over x plus A1 over x minus 1 plus at dx minus t over x minus t. Dx, a0, sorry. Dx over x, a1, x dx over x1, x minus 1, and at dx over x minus t. So one can easily check that if you look at the differential equation here, Schlesinger equation tells you that nabla is flat, and you can easily check that it is logarithmic. But this is not important so far. This is a flat connection. This is a flat connection in variables x, t. So let me draw a picture. So I have extended the connection which was only in the x direction as a connection in all the variables, including the parameter deformations variable. So the picture is as follows. So this is, I consider in this direction, let's say a disk in the variable t. And here I consider P1 in the variable x. And I look at the product of the two. I have a divisor which is x equals 0, x equals 1, x equals infinity, and x equals t, x equals t. And so nabla is a flat logarithmic connection on this x, on x d. D is a union of the four curves, okay? Which is inducing the partial connection which I had at the beginning, which was d plus dx. So initially, I had the connection on each fibers, or each horizontal fibers. I had a system or a connection. And now I connect them by this flat connection. And so the monodromy representation, so this implies that the monodromy representation of any element of the deformation, so let's say d plus a t0 dx, is coincide with the monodromy of nabla, which is the same for everybody. So it does not depend on t. Conversely, So let us start with let's say, so I have some T0, some E0 nabla 0, which is a connection like this. So let's say O plus O with D plus A dx. Okay. And T gives, so this is for T0. This is for T0. And T then gives ET nabla T. So maybe T0. It's better to do like this. So you have an isomonodromic deformation. So what I will do is to construct the flat connection. So let me show you. I have the special slide here, which is, no, this is not a nice color. Like this. At T0, I have a connection. And now, by the logarithmic Riemann-Hilbert correspondence, we can extend E T0 nabla T0, the original system, as a logarithmic connection, a flat logarithmic connection, xd. Why? Because you see that the topology is the topology of the topology of X with the divisor D is the same as its restriction to the topology of XD is the same as its restriction to T0. So the monodromy shows by the Riemann-Hilbert correspondence, you can define E nabla such that its monodromy fits with it fits with the monodromy of E nabla 0. E T0 nabla T0. And with the same local models to construct a flat logarithmic connection here, I have to choose a local model. So the local model, I choose any cross section, and for instance, T0. So now, again, the logarithmic Riemann-Hilbert correspondence implies that for all T, ET nabla T is conjugated by some bundle isomorphism with E nabla restrict to T. Because the monodromy is always the same, so it is the monodromy of E nabla. Okay. So okay, so if since ET0 is a trivial bundle, then for T close to T0, E restrict to T is also the trivial bundle. You have some stability property coming from a parameter version of Birkhoff's theorem. And then you can assume that E is O plus O globally on X. And then nabla is of the form D minus A dx minus y. I change the sign, okay. Minus B dt. So I decompose the connection into dx part and dt part. So the dx part will be up to a gauge transformation, it will be the initial family of systems. And I have to understand what is the dt part, so the B side of the matrix. So this B belongs to C of T. So it is analytic in T, but with poles in X. Precisely, you have simple poles on D, which are moreover logarithmic. So the nabla logarithmic implies that, so you can check that B is actually holomorphic with respect to X also on X equals 0, 1, and infinity. So for the fixed poles, it is holomorphic. So this comes from the logarithmic property. And now you can look at the last pole, which is moving, x minus t. And if you look at A times d of x minus t plus b plus A dt, yes, I rewrite the matrix connection like this. then this should be dx minus dt. Sorry. No. Sorry, I made a mistake. So A minus, sorry. I am lost in my computation again. So at x equal t, after some computation, you find that B equal minus 80 d over x minus t plus c with this holomorphic. So actually, as there is no other pole, this will be the global decomposition of B. So this is the only polar part, and you have something which is holomorphic. Then you can integrate. You use this as a connection, so you integrate d plus c dt, and you obtain a gauge transformation. You obtain a fundamental solution that you use as a gauge transformation. And then by this way, you can assume C equals 0. And then I missed something. You can easily check that integrability implies the Schlesinger equation. So what is the link with the Pan-V6 equation? Okay. So now from Schlesinger to Pan-V6, so I rewrite the system as follows: dy over dx equal a times y, with a equal a0 over x plus a1 over x minus 1 plus at over x minus t. Then I can normalize a infinity to be of the following form: theta infinity 0 minus theta infinity, and maybe something here. And then so this implies that the matrix A, which is that one, is of the form A, B, C, D with multiplied by 1 over x, x minus 1, x minus t, with B, A, B, C, D polynomials, and B is of the form something which is not 0, times x minus q, and then, so I mean that it is linear, so Other are quadratic, but because we have the 0 here at infinity, the b coefficient will be linear. And then, if you look at t gives q of t along an isomonodromic deformation, is solution of Pan-V6 equation. So Pan-V6 equation has parameters, and the parameters are so more or less the eigenvalues that we are fixed in the deformation. So in other words, you have a system. So you have many coefficients here, and Schlesinger equation gives you differential equation on all the coefficients, and you choose one, this one, and by elimination, playing with all the differential equation, you can eliminate other coefficients and obtain a differential equation for the single coefficient which is here. So it will be something like this. Q, the second derivative will be equal to P6 theta of T, Q, and Q dot. And conversely, any local solution Q of t of the Pan-V6 equation give you a solution AK of t of the Schlesinger equation and gives you an isomonodromic deformation. So isomonodromic deformation are translated into a condition of integrability for a connection. So when you start with a deformation here, isomonodromic, you have a natural way to complete by in the other direction, in such a way that if you have a flat connection which is logarithmic, it must be of this form. So this form is that form. So Schlesinger equations are for any rank and any number of poles on the Riemann sphere, but it is exactly the same procedure. You can complete, if you have a constant a deformation with constant monodromy, you can complete it as in the other directions as a flat logarithmic connection, and you normalize, you write down integrability condition, and this gives you a system of PDE which is polynomial in all the data of the life. Okay, so to conclude, there is a proof of the Pan-V property. Remember, the Pan-V6 equation arises first from the Pan-V property. The Pan-V property tells you that if you have a local solution like this, you can extend it, you can do the analytic continuation, and it can have poles, so you can look at the meromorphic continuation of Qt, and its meromorphic continuation holds along any path, which is avoiding here 0, 1, and infinity. So I explain you this. So let Q of t be a local solution of point V6. Then, so you have t gives you Q of t. And you can look at, so here t belongs to P1 minus 0, 1, infinity. Okay. And I can look at the universal cover. So U, tilde, universal cover. With here a variable t tilde. And what I claim is that you can extend it as a global meromorphic solution on the universal cover. So this means that the essential singular points are concentrated in 0, 1, and infinity. So maybe I still need this picture. So the idea of Malgrange to prove the Painvet property for isomonodromic deformation. So he proves that isomonodromic equations have Painvet property. And the idea is to construct the global solution by constructing the global isomonodromic deformation. You know, Q of t gives you an isomonodromic deformation, Et nabla t, which gives you a flat connection, E nabla. We did it locally. We can do it globally. So you replace this by t tilde belonging to U tilde. And when you do this, you still have something which looks topologically like a product, like the product of what is happening at T0 times the universal cover of P1 minus 0, 1, infinity. Again, you can apply on this the logarithmic Riemann-Hilbert correspondence and construct the flat connection globally. So what you will have is a flat connection which will be global on the universal cover. U tilde times P1 with, let's say, D tilde, which is a convenient divisor. And then you have to go back like I did before, except that the problem is that now I am not sure that the bundle is trivial on the wall of this manifold. So you have a divisor, which is Malgrange call it theta, a divisor on U tilde on the time variable, which is a divisor where the bundle is no more trivial, where E restricted to T tilde is not trivial, O plus O. And, well, it is not trivial, but you can construct a bimeromorphic trivialization locally. And using this bimeromorphic trivialization, you can do all what we have did before, except that at the end, the Q of t will be no more holomorphic, but will be meromorphic. You will have a meromorphic deformation, so the entries system will be meromorphic in T, and the pole will be concentrated on the theta divisor, but you will have a global meromorphic continuation. And I stop here for today. Thank you.